Alright, good morning folks. It's 4:50 in the morning, 46.3 degrees, day 108, July 19. That wind is not stopped blowing all night. But, that's why I bring earplugs, so I'm gonna wake up and head up and over Knapsack Col. Alright, good morning folks. It is 6:04 a.m. I'm just looking around, making triple plus sure that I have everything. I think I have everything. 6:04 a.m., 45 degrees even. Just breaking camp. As I mentioned last night, I should be just a little under 2 miles from beginning the climb up Knapsack Col. You can kind of see the sun just barely starting to make its way into the top of the top of some of those towers, as they were. Very, 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 very pretty. Yeah, so I decided to camp here instead of closer because, well, a few reasons. One, there was a campsite I found. I mean, not an established campsite, but just a nice, workable, flat piece of earth that looked accommodating for a tent. And as you might be able to tell from the brush and everything, there's not a profound shortage of spots to pitch up, but there isn't a great abundance either. So when I found a spot that was flat, that was earthen instead of stone, and that fit and respected the regulations of the area, which are no camping within 200 feet of the trail and no camping within 200 feet of any lake, I just decided to probably pitch up there. Another thing that led to my camping there was I didn't really want to camp like directly at the foot of the climb. I wanted to kind of give myself just a tiny little bit of a warm-up before getting over to the climb of Knapsack, and 1.5 miles, 2 miles. That should be enough for me to kind of regain my balance and kind of wake up a little bit and kind of get the legs moving and awake. So that was that. But yeah, man, last night, oh my gosh, that wind, dude, that wind. So I closed up all the flaps of my tent, and the wind would be deadly calm for a while. I mean, it would just be super calm atmosphere for a while, and then just happened, it just slaps. It just slaps up out of nowhere. And when it slaps, I mean, I was even like, when I was cooking dinner last night, man, I had to like crouch down next to a rock. It was real strong. Here it goes. And that just happened all night long. It was just slapping, and my tent would just shudder and shake and quake and quiver, flap. I tightened that tent down. But, you know, it just is what it is. But I mean, for the first half of the night, I was really concerned about my tent, to be honest. But she held up great, so good on her. And it wasn't only the wind and the wind noise. What I'll say about it is, like, if you've ever like put on or take off, I was trying to think of a way to explain this. Put on or take off goggles, like swimming goggles that have like a bit of a seal around the eye, and you kind of feel like that gentle sort of pressure on the eye when you form the seal, and then kind of like, this is going to be overstating it, but I can't think of a simpler way, like a milder way to say it, but like sort of like a suction off of the eye, like pulling the eye out almost when you remove the goggles. There's that sort of effect happening with like rapid pressure changes inside of the tent, as it would like expand and contract and expand and contract with great speed. So yeah, there was like this weird kind of like eye pressure thing happening every time the wind would blow and whip up too, which was just strange. Not bad, and it didn't matter whether my eyes are open or closed, it would still do that. But man, oh man, it's pretty here. Anyways, I think I never did see those other 4 guys, Icarus, Diva, Ponderosa, and Wicket. So, I mean, I was kind of hidden where I was camped. I was pretty sure no one would be able to see me up there. But I don't know whether they're ahead or behind. I think they tend to be somewhat late starters, or at least later than me. So maybe I'll run into them. Maybe I will not. We'll kind of have to see how it goes. Man, oh man. This area is really, really, really special. All right, well, I'm gonna get hiking and yeah, get over Knapsack, keep moving from there, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Live a little, flip the page, give it some more, getting out of my way. I was hiding, bulletproof, forever waiting. Then came you. I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I was. I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I.
And guys, a quick thank you to Will Daugherty for donating to the hike. Here's a quick view for you, Will. This is just as we're getting ready to climb up out of the Titcomb Basin. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Will. Appreciate your generosity.
I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I was. I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I was. Been a long time, baby. Had an all-time low. Stick with me, maybe. Don't let me go. I fell out of the roller coaster, crashed out, landed on cotton candy in your arms and survived. I'm still a disaster, rock bottom and below. I'm yours for the asking. Where you go, I go. I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I was. I thought I was what I've been told. I thought I was. Been a long time, baby. At an all-time low. Stick with me, maybe. Don't let me go. Come, my love, my morning light. Everything's gonna be alright. Come, my love, my morning light. Everything's gonna be alright. Come, my love, my morning light. Everything's gonna be alright. Come, my love, my morning light. Everything's gonna be Been a long time, baby. At an all-time low. Stick with me, maybe. I love you so.
right, good afternoon, folks. It is 2:45. It is 2:45 and 88.8 degrees. 88.8. Just finished up lunch. I had some, I don't know what, like Parmesan couscous or something with a tuna packet. So that was pretty nice. Cleaned that up, put it all away. Kind of sat down for, it was probably about an hour. I was kind of sitting down. Man, I got a lot to catch you up on. I mean, nothing crazy. Well, kind of crazy, but not super crazy. First off, dude, Knapsack Col, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely so ridiculous. My goodness, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, man. And it just, every like 40 steps I would stop and turn around and the views would have changed and they would have always just constantly getting better. By the time I got up to the top of Knapsack, kind of like the pass, if you will, I mean, where I'd come from was just as beautiful as where I was going, and it was just remarkable. I mean, I'm really hoping some of those shots came out because, gosh, I really want to have them just for my own posterity, if nothing else, because it was just absolutely remarkable. I will say, Knapsack, though, at the same time, that's a no joke hike. There was a lot of snow everywhere, and I wanted to break out early while the snow was still firm, and I did. But that snow is frozen and melted and frozen and melted so many times. It's just ice. I mean, it's just ice. Totally different kind of snow than what I had been working with in Colorado. So you know, whereas usually in the morning in Colorado, like that snow was kind of crunchy and you could kind of grip. This snow wasn't crunching at all. It was just ice, and so it was honestly, it was pretty treacherous. So instead of taking the trail that Far Out has, you know, you kind of choose your own adventure and figure out whatever looks safest. Well, in the process of trying to figure out what looks safest, I made a really stupid decision, and luckily got out of it okay. But there was like a big stone slab, a large stony face, maybe about 100 feet up, and it looks pretty traversable, so so I went for it and pretty much shanghaied myself up on a big stony face, just a big slab. I don't really know how to describe it. I'm not really a mountaineer, so I don't really know how to describe it. Just a big stony face slab. Not much texture to it. The stone itself was pretty grippy, which was definitely kind of my saving grace. But yeah, I kind of got myself to a position. You know what, let me cross this and I'll turn back on, because that looks like a full attention job. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Crossed that without issue. There was a downed tree, maybe 20 feet downstream from where the trail crossed. That's what I went for. You can kind of see that tree. Yeah. Anyways, we were talking about that rocky slab. Well, yeah, it definitely got, I mean, I guess I'm not too proud to use the word scary. It definitely got a little scary there for a minute. I never lost control of anything. I just wasn't sure where or how to move. And sometimes you get yourself in a situation where going back isn't really an option. And sometimes, I don't know, it's a real catch-22 sometimes. Like, the further you go, the worse situation you get yourself into. But you can't go back. You can't just stop and live the rest of your life there. So, whatever. Anyways, I wound up making it out of that okay. But it did wind up costing me a decent amount of time. And what's more, a lot of energy. But, you know, made it out, and that's fine. So, you know, all's well that ends well. I feel pretty good about it at this point. Yeah, made it up and over Knapsack. The rest of it was just, you know, real loose earth, real loose gravel, and a lot of big boulders and stuff. And then coming down the backside, more of the same, loose gravel, big boulders. And then there was that big sort of wash of snow, which stretched maybe 60 feet along sort of a ridge. So I wasn't gonna push my luck at that point. I felt like I already kind of dodged one with that stony slab. So rather than try and traverse that crazy snowed out icy wash, I just dropped down into the valley and crossed down there, which meant a lot of bouldering. But it was fine. I mean, I'd rather go slow and safe than fast and stupid. That's kind of my move. So speaking of slow and safe, I think my average moving pace right now, I was checking Gaia at lunch, Gaia GPS. My average moving pace right now is like 1.6 miles an hour, which is horrific. I mean, it's not everything and I don't really care that much, but it just kind of confirms what I was feeling. I mean, I only stopped for lunch at like 11 miles into the day or something, and 11 miles was like 8 hours. So yeah, definitely not moving fast, but I think the rest of the day is going to be either gradual descent or flat, which would be really nice. And when I say rest of the day, I guess what I'm kind of targeting as a goal is Green River Lakes campground or trailhead or something like that, which I think is only, I don't know, 13 or 15 miles away from where I had lunch or something. And I really want to make it there. I really do. And I'm hoping if I make it there early and I'm moving good the second half of this day, that I can maybe push a little further, but we'll kind of see. I mean, Mom and Dad land tomorrow afternoon, theoretically in Jackson, Wyoming, and they may or may not be picking me up someplace on trail tomorrow evening, but either way, I want to try and plug in miles and get as close to Jackson as I can. And you know, this morning was just slow going, and yesterday was just a short day, and there was very little I could do about either one of those. I mean, you know, I definitely, for as long as it took me to go over Knapsack, I'm glad I didn't do it last night. Super glad, because that would have been a disaster. Would have been real bad, real hard, real slow. So yesterday just had to be a short day, and this morning just had to be slow moving. So, I mean, it is what it is. But now that we're on a gentle descent and perhaps some flatland, time for some makeup speed, I hope. So we'll see where we wind up. Yeah, man, super good day. Super good day. And man, I just love it out here, dude. Don't, by the way, don't try Knapsack Col. I hate to tell you, but and I don't mean to like humble brag or anything like that. I don't really care. There's plenty of people who are way fitter than me, but dude, that was hard. Like, I mean, that was hard. That was real hard. So, I mean, if you're real fit, do it, because it's amazing. But if you're not, be honest with yourself, because Knapsack Col is no joke, man. It's no joke. That was a real deal. So, anyways, that's the end of that PSA. I'm gonna keep hiking. I'll talk to you guys later. Good evening, folks. It is 7 past 8 p.m. and I made it to home for the night. Here's my tent. Looking good. Looking great. I am exhausted. That was a hard day. Very happy to have started the day with Knapsack Col rather than like have it in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, but it definitely took a lot out of me. Like, it was just a lot of, I'm gonna kind of pan and give you some scenery as I blabber. Yeah, I was definitely glad to do it at the beginning of the day, but it still took a lot out of me. It was a lot of thought, a lot of sort of wayfinding. There wasn't really much cruise involved. It was just a lot of work, like physical work and head work and logistic, sort of like planning which way you're gonna go and stuff, making mistakes, and then having to deal with that. But it was wonderful. It was definitely wonderful, as is this view to end the day. My goodness. I am at Green River Lakes campground. So I was looking, and honestly, I was hoping to get a little further than this, but dude, this was like the hardest 25.8 mile day I've had in a while. It's fine. I'm doing good, but I'm just tired. It was just a lot. So I'm ready to go to sleep, but I was looking at the map some. So before I actually got on trail, before I started the CDT, I should say, I charted out a course that would take me straight from Knapsack Col west through the Grovant Wilderness into Jackson, and then north into the Grand Tetons, and then north into Yellowstone. And I was looking at that because that's like right on the cusp. I mean, that's what I'm doing like tomorrow. I mean, not all of that tomorrow, but that's the path down which I'm going to embark tomorrow. And I was looking at it, and it looks like, for whatever silly reason, like the course I had charted has me crossing the Green River at some point where there is no bridge. And I was at the headwaters of the Green River today, totally a side note, but up at the headwaters of the Green River, right at Knapsack Col, which is really, really, really cool to see, like, cute little baby river being born. But boy, it grows up fast, because that river is significant. And there's zero part of me that's comfortable even thinking that there might be an option for me to ford it. I mean, this whole walk in, I was pretty much following the Green River. Again, this campsite is called Green River Lakes Campsite. And I guess the river sort of opens up into these big lakes before it continues onward. Well, I was planning on following that river and then fording it at some point, I guess, was the plan. But even where I was following it today, I mean, it was easily 40 feet wide and running. Not whitewater most of the time, but you could tell it was moving, and it looked pretty deep too, and I'm not going to mess with that. No part of me is going to mess with that. So I charted a slightly different course that's gonna have me along what I'll call the north side of the Green River instead of the south side of the Green River, which is just fine. It's a few more miles, but there's no part of me that's going to deal with fording that river. That just looks really, really, really like that would be a really, really, really stupid thing to do. So I try not to do stupid things. Sometimes I fail, but I try sometimes. I try all the times. Yeah, man. What a day. What a day. Knapsack Col. Absolutely drop dead beautiful. I'm not sure, by the way, if I'm allowed to camp here, to be perfectly honest. I saw a sign a little further that way that was like the little tent logo with like a little line through it. So I didn't set up over there, and I kind of feel like I can be like, oh, well, I saw there was no camping over there, so I set up over here. Hopefully it won't be a problem. Man, this view. All right, well, I think I'm gonna lay down and start processing video and stuff, and try and come up with a plan for tomorrow. As again, I think my parents are supposed to land in Jackson at some point tomorrow afternoon, and I plan on texting them, or I should say, like, using my GPS to message them, as I doubt I'll have any service. But I plan on getting and sending to them a proposal for where they can scoop me up on trails. So I'd like to try and do some miles, but it totally depends. Totally depends. So good news is that I won't be attempting to ford the Green River tomorrow. Yeah, what a day. What a day. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I'm gonna bunk up and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.